The phone died and I was just channeling. I got way deeper. I'm gonna just pick off where I left off. This is the age of Aquarius, which we've been heard, but that's why everything is breaking down within everything that existed before 2020. We're now looking at it with the new energy, and you're seeing it for what it really is outside of the belief of what you thought it was. So the whole idea of what you thought the food was, for example, now you're seeing the real reality of it, and you're getting sicker from the real reality of it because the truth is here. So you're living in the real reality outside the illusion reality of the spell of the belief. And belief is one of the most powerful energies. Faith, belief, because as Blacks and Latinos, we are souls. So we are ancient beings. So we manifest all we believe. So that's why they did so much to instill their religion, instill their ways of life, instill their thought forms like science and how the world was, the physical, dead 3D reality, how the world works. We are the genies, and through us, they fill into us what they want to manifest. This so-called white man, this human being made in our image, right? So he used us to manifest his world. All the way down to McDonald's. We're the biggest customers to his McDonald's, and we give all our belief, and that's why it's dying, because we no longer, but it's real life force. Life force is the biggest energy. Attention is another word for life force. Life force, attention is the real currency. That's why they pay you for your life force and their jobs. They won't pay us for anything else, but they're exchanging your life force in the form of money in those jobs, because you're selling your soul to the system, to Babylon. Most of the jobs for someone who didn't fully get indoctrinated into their fully college, higher educated forms of indoctrination in college, for most of the jobs, and that's most of my people, because most of us don't go to college, because it's in our soul to already not be with the whole man-made system that was erected in our lands to begin with. We already had everything in a way of living outside of anything y'all taught us within, because we need to know y'all language to then start to get told everything you're telling it. Like everything that we are in doesn't even register if we weren't first taught y'all language, because we didn't even speak y'all language, and then through y'all language y'all can tell us about death, about money, about having to do all these different things, about living, about all this shit. So it's all spells within y'all language, within y'all witchcraft, within all these things that y'all brought onto my lands. Life is magic, so magic is the form of taking energy and making anything with it and putting your intent into it. So we can take energy and put our intent, and then they make a lot of negative magic and negative energy through their creations of what they made within all their man-made living within society. They make shit all the time and release it onto us. For example, crack. Crack is a negative magic witchcraft. Most drugs are negative witchcraft. They're taking plants from the planet like coca, and then they make cocaine. You know that's witchcraft? Sorry to break it to you. Everything starts with nature. That's what I was getting at. If you take nature and put it in the center point and look at everything happening on this planet from nature being in the center, everything starts to make sense. And if you look at it as so-called Blacks, Latinos are the real beings of this planet, divine nature beings, before y'all came to call us Blacks, Latinos, we were just the beings of this planet filling these lands. Y'all came to these lands and saw a bunch of us, dark, carbonated beings, doing a bunch of divine things, and we were in our giant form. So this is why y'all made all those stories within y'all man-made religions, especially within Greece, of those giant gods. Those giant gods that controlled the elements, the elemental forces of nature. Because we are nature. We feed on the sun. This is why they do everything to block out the sun and bring their man-made snow, their man-made weather. Ever since they came, they introduced their sub-zero technology and their cold, their winter. Seasons are a lie. My planet is one big jungle. This is what I mean by you're living in a reality of spells within ideas, within things you were taught. A reality of ideas, a mental reality of lies. So you need to wake up and look at the real reality in front of you. The reality right outside your door, outside your window of nature, the planet outside of the city. The concrete jungle they built on top of the real planet. Because this is an artificial habitat. So I keep trying to say nature is the real planet because everything around us was made recently within this man-made conquest. They came to our land and colonized our people in every form. Religion is one of their biggest colonizing tools. Religion is what pacified our soul and our minds. Religion enslaved you mentally so they can release the shackles physically. And the new plantations became these cities. And became working in these factories and these warehouses. And then they made all these laws to lock most of my people up, and most of us are a lot of us are in prison. My people, a lot of like black and Latinos, and that's a new form of slavery too. If you want to get down to the physical slavery, if you want to think we were all slaves, because that's another thing you were told. We were not all slaves. Everything we were told within schools, within that form of history, is a lie. You're listening to things within a book and trusting the sources when they can't even tell you accurately what's taking place right now across the world. Like I'm saying, you're listening fully to them about what took place back then. That was written in their books. You're listening to their carefully crafted narrative of everything that took place up to this point. We weren't there to see it. We don't know what really happened. And it's the conqueror who's writing the history books. So you're trusting the conqueror to tell you about them? My mom and my family be thinking I'm tripping, but they're the ones who are lost, and I need to pull away from a place of even feeling like I need to be against them in any form. I just need to let them exist in their reality, and they're going to, when I say suffer from that reality, what I mean by suffer is they're going to live the effects of that reality, their own self, in a way that I don't need to expose because it's caving in on its own self. They're distracted by the phones, by the TVs, but the real reality is what they're putting in them, and then what's happening and how their bias is getting sicker and sicker, and they're ignoring everything in the real reality and all the effects of all these spells and negative witchcraft and Satan and the horrible and the toxic reality they're living in. And I'm saying that's why it's like that's the shift. That's why it's like everyone who's choosing to raise and heal themselves, I'm rising above it and saving myself. I'm a form of Noah. That's what the Noah archetype is really about. It was a metaphor. There's no real huge water that came, and I didn't take. It was a metaphor. I'm putting all this energy to try to scream and wake up all these people around me, and then in the end, I might be one of the only ones who actually take heed. And I'll be taking my plants, an animal, you feel me? Maybe a cat I fuck with who resonates and pulls. You get what I'm saying? And watch as the whole system implodes around me and these people get more and more pulled in. You feel me? They're living in a world full of lies, distractions. And what I'm trying to get at is they're distracting their minds while their bodies are sicker and sicker. And they're in the reality they're living in outside of the reality they're being warped and pulled to, that's drugging and zombifying them and enslaving their souls within the cell of the phone, because that's a cell. So they're enslaved to the mind warped pocket reality that they're enslaved and pulled into, right? And they're while in the real reality, it's the real reality of what's around them and what they're putting in their bodies, and their bodies getting sicker and sicker, and all these things around them, and this artificial habitat not connecting to the actual planet. And you get what I'm saying? And I'll say that, but if I keep eating the bullshit, that's what I'm saying. I suffer from the same effects of what the toxic shit is. That's what I'm saying. It's truth, not what I believe. Anyone who drinks bleach is going to die from it because bleach is what it is. That's just a metaphor. I'm saying you don't need to believe something of what it is outside of you, of the real living thing it is, of what it is in its form. So the toxic food that has the toxins that makes your body toxic, doesn't matter if you believe me, it's literally what it is. And that's why it is that if I choose to eat it, I suffer from it too. And that's why I do all this to speak about it, even if I eat it. Because when I eat it, that's only because I'm trying to break away from that reality that I was in almost my whole life and that I had to wake up from as well. I'm not saying it like I'm holier than thou. I'm saying it to literally trying to help y'all from the same reality that I'm suffering from. It actually is even more into. That's the main reason I'm doing so much too, because I literally having all this shit that I suffer from the food. So I know it better than a lie. But my mom will think it's the opposite. Oh, you eat it too. And think that somehow unvalidates what I'm saying. The biggest thing I say is that it's man-made drug food. I say drug for a reason. Not to sound good. Because it's the biggest man-made drug outside. You know how they release crack and cocaine? The biggest drug is the fast food. But even before the fast food, all those foods, all those pastries, snacks, all those man-made meals, the macaroni and cheese, the Hot Pockets, the pizza rolls, the garlic bread, the mozzarella sticks, the anything else, the grilled cheese, the eggs, the everything, all of it, the noodles, the pasta, all of it. It's all spelled within food. That's the biggest man-made weapon, the biggest drug. A bioengineered drug. It's a drug that gets in you on a biological level, so it tampers with your biochemistry. The smell, the taste, it being in your cells, you eating it. It's different than you injecting or smoking a drug. So that's truly why I say it's man-made drug food, because it's literally drugs, but you're eating the drugs. It's the biggest drug ever that everyone's taking, that's zombifying everyone. It's keeping everyone asleep. What's in the food? What's in the water? It's keeping everyone asleep. Everyone's dead. Everyone's in a dead state. Walking zombies. The real walking dead. They don't even question what's around them. The planet's dying around them. They're so dead. Because that's the result of being in a dead state. You're so numb, you don't even care about knowing that the planet's dying. Because you're dying. So you're saying, fuck it all. I don't want to die like y'all. I actually want to live. I don't eat a diet. I eat a live it. I don't eat to die. I eat to live. So I don't eat a diet. So you see what I'm saying? These words are spells. It's all spells. It's witchcraft. You're the it they want to die within their die it because you're the clown it. You're the clown that they're playing with. Smacking all around, treating like a fucking idiot. They're playing in our faces on every level. They think we're dumb. They put it right in our face all the time. In their movies, their TV shows, right on the news, right on the internet, everywhere. They put the truth right in our face. And they laugh about it because they know most of us really think it's all... They know, they don't expect, they think most of us will never wake up to it. And I don't blame them because, I mean, look at us. Look how ignorant we are. We'll attack the only ones trying to wake us up. The only ones sounding the alarm. We attack them the most. Just like they did Yahweh. Yahshua, I mean. Not Yahshua. I mix up those words a lot. Yahweh be what? Yahweh. I mix up Yahweh with Yahshua because they both got that Yah, same type Yah energy. Yahshua, you feel me? But Yahshua, the real black God behind the white-faced fake story. Because the story's real, but that whole white-faced, white guy, Jesus, that's a lie. But that story is just, again, I always say this, one of my species waking up to the truth of us all. Because they try to make it seem like it's some holier-than-thou thing outside of you. When that's just a story that where they're putting all this spotlight on one prophet when there were hundreds of prophets, and it's not like you need to, like, that's a word that they just place on us, but it's like You as yourself are just your own self, living your life, connecting to life. And then they will do that and try to spread the truth of what they're doing within their life. And then they'll make up a whole holier than thou thing about it. And then they choose to put the spotlight on Yeshua when there were so many of us throughout history preaching the same message that Yeshua preached, which is that we are gods, trying to reawaken his people ever since we've forgotten who we were since 1492 when they initially invaded. Because Jesus was a lot more recent. The whole Roman era, that was like 300-400 years ago. The Egypt, they try to get us to think is the Egypt over there in Africa when the real Egypt was over here in America. That was like 400 years ago, 300 years ago. All that was a lot more recent than you think. This is why we be saying pieces of the guy Rashad Jamal, they written themselves into our history. Because it's his story. They literally written themselves into our history. They came here in 1492 and then they tried to make it seem like they've been here for thousands and hundreds of thousands of years. These human beings, all their races, made in the image of my species, have only been here since 1492. Maybe a little bit before that. But the war kicked off in 1492. In their man-made year of 1492, because we don't run on time. We run on energy cycles. Time is a spell that causes aging. Your belief in time is what causes you to age if you're a so-called black Latino, an Anunnaki god or goddess. Your belief in time and all the toxins that you're eating and all the toxins in the environment. And your belief that you're a human being. And your belief that you can age. And your belief in all the things they told you about your body. That's what causes you to age. If you're a so-called black or Latino. And you, deeper than that, it's you not being in the sun, you not feeding on real energy. It's like you're a plant that needs to be out in the soil, so your body's withering and dying and getting sick and weak. This is what I mean by my people are divine nature beings that literally feed on nature, that need the sun, that need the soil, that need the planet, that need the air, that need the energies of life. We feed on the energies of life, real direct energy. Not this dead energy through these solids they call food. We don't need to eat food. We used to never eat food, especially not a fucking dead body. Do you know how backwards and horrific it would be to your ancestors to see you eating dead bodies? Even if they're packaged up to look nice and all chopped up to be a chicken nugget. That shit ain't no chicken nugget. That's a little black kid. And his body's in there, or a clone, or a human being, a human being clone. Some little fake white person's body. There are foreign species that set up their camp on our planet. So this is why it's like their colony. They had the 13 colonies because they were like these insectoid, reptilian, fucking alien, parasitical foreign invaders. That's why when they first came, it was the 13 colonies with the queen of the lizards, Elizabeth. The fuck is a colony, fam? Like, you know those little insects with their giant colony with the queen? The royals? When they first came to our land and they were setting up camp, they had those 13 colonies. And within this system that they now put more and more in place, they harvest our bodies. It's a fake system put in place and we all live within it. So it's like a whole little ring setup, like a rhythm organization like thing they got going on. Like they got a whole mojo thing going on where they got the bodies of everyone going missing and they're recycling the bodies to keep pumping out the fake food. Where do you think all this fake meat is coming from? Where do you think all the meat, let alone all the food, push away every other form of food and just focus on the meat, because 99% of all their meals focus around meat. Meat is like the biggest thing these people be eating that keeps you the most horrifically, disgustingly diseased and asleep. And it's all the worst of every reality I speak of. times 9, all of it is mostly within the meat. And it all starts to break down when you free from the meat more and more, because meat is death. Meat is dead energy. Meat is one of the worst spells of witchcraft. When you participate in the eating of a dead body, you're keeping yourself in the deepest forms of mental slavery, soul slavery. You're keeping yourself deeply asleep as a soul, deeply lost as a soul, shackled within, you feel me, this sleep sunken state. Because most of us are literally within a sunken state, like the movie Get Out, where you're a passenger within your own body. That's why my sister said she felt dead most of her life and she only felt alive a little bit. You got so little energy, all you want to do is stare at a phone because you're barely in your own body. Barely alive, barely full in life. Barely full of feeling life. Most of my people within this planet are in a state of like get out. If it is that you're living in these mostly colonized countries, because outside of like America and shit, a lot of us are still like, you know, connected to the planet a lot more, like, you know, in their so-called like, you know, Haiti, Jamaica, Africa, Puerto Rico, South America, etc., Asia. Like, it's funny because a lot of what I say, most of our people outside of America know this to some level. Even if they're getting pulled away from it a bit more now, but still they know this. Because the energy there they're a bit more connected to the roots. They haven't been broken down as much. They're just us in a stronger state, less pulled away from who we are. Like the same shit I say that here in America would sound crazy to a lot of these people. And a lot of other places in the world, people would be rallying behind me. Or at the very least, giving me the due credit and respect of like seeing me as like some type of like spiritual leader or a prophet or a deeper than that. You feel me? You get what I'm trying to say? An ascended master. Or just give me the energy that, or just looking at me with the energy, you feel me? Or understanding where I come from. It'd be the complete type of energy I get here. Over here, I'm the black sheep. I'm all types of, you feel me? I'm the one tripping because I'm aware of what's going on while y'all is sleeping zombified. I'm crazy? No, y'all are for not even questioning life. Every day y'all wake up. Every day y'all wake up, y'all don't even seem to gain any type of awareness. Any type of a curiosity for life. Y'all just keep walking, sleep, blinded. Trusting everything y'all been told while y'all bodies are getting sicker and sicker from it. Obviously something's not working, something's not right. Y'all bodies are giving y'all all types of warning signals. Y'all ignoring me, but y'all ignoring y'all bodies way more, so what do I expect? Of course y'all would ignore me. Y'all don't even listen to your own bodies. You either have it in you to wake up or you don't. What was in me was always in me. And it took a little tiny spark and I started a whole, you feel me? Because I'm a soul. I'm the soul in the body. I'm not the body. Do not be fooled. So again, just let these people live in the reality that they're within. And just be the living example of the living truth of nature and the real God of nature. And the fact that I am a Anunnaki God and my species, Blacks and Latinos, are Anunnaki gods. And this is planet Kai. And that this planet has been invaded by foreign parasitical invaders. Draconian reptilians and Pleiadians and racist hierarchy human beings who have made a pact with these Draconian reptilians and Pleiadians to establish all their governments and systems of control on our planet to oppress my people while they're on our planet. The people who run this system, most of them aren't even fucking human. They're draconian shapeshifters. Fucking reptilians. That's the real reason the meat is human meat, Alicia. These people aren't even human. You're not a human either. You're an Anunnaki goddess. Sooner or later, you're gonna wake up to it because it's the truth. It doesn't matter what you think about it. That's the real reason they make TV shows like Squid Games. Because these people be doing that sick shit in real life. And the real reason they do that sick shit in real life is because they fucking eat us. They do all this shit to beat around the bush, make it seem like they're just torturing us because they're sick and psychopaths. They're not even psychopaths. They're just literally they eat us. That's why they don't feel shit when they torture us and do horrible shit to us. Because they're a whole different species. They're an extraterrestrial fallen race. Draconian reptilians. Foreign parasitical invaders that invaded our planet, that are genetically modifying the whole habitat, the air, the ecosystem. They're constantly spraying shit into the whole environment to genetically modify the whole environment. Who knows how much of this has been cloned and replaced? How many of the animals are really real? How many of the trees and plants that we see are really real? What have they done to my planet? Why are all my animals in zoos? Why is everything dying? Where did they come from? And why do they treat the whole planet like it's some type of spectacle to point and go, ooh, ah? They come to a regular part of my planet, Puerto Rico, and to them it's like, oh my god, tropical paradise. No, it's just our fucking planet. To us, it's normal. And to the people who live there, we just walk around every day. Because y'all aren't from our planet, even the regular human beings. That's why they don't know it, but that's why their energy is like that. That's why they don't like nature. Take the regular white person who knows nothing about spirituality, because if they do, then they'll be tapped in, and they might meditate, and then so it won't count. But the regular white person, regular Asian outside of like maybe, you feel me, because some of them might be Buddhists or monks, but even that, because they'll be carbonated. But the real Chinese, Japanese, real human beings, the regular Arabian, the regular white person, you feel me, not the carbonated race, because there's carbonated like beings outside of the Caucasian race in every form. Like there's real Arabians that are real, and then there's like human beings blunts amongst them that have like fake melanin and fake tan. It's like you can read the real human being energy, so it's like you gotta differentiate. And there's real carbonated beings because we're the ones that filled this whole land, so they just blended into our populaces and got us to come into their cities that they built, and then they blend amongst us. So it's like we gotta, but we always know who's us. But so take the regular human being, regular white person, and try to put them out in nature. They don't like nature, and the real reason for that is because they aren't from our planet. The only reason my people don't like nature is because we've been taught not to. Fed all this meat, fed all this junk. They colonized our minds, but 300 years ago, we were sitting right in nature. We were nothing but nature. We knew all the herbs on the back of our hand. We knew all the plants that we could look at any plant and tell you what it was. But yeah, the truth is being exposed. Everything is going back to what it should be. Nature is rising above all. The planet is returning to nature. Planet Kai. I am an Anunnaki god, not a human being. not a Puerto Rican, not a Cuban, not a Latino. My people are not black or not any of these titles y'all came and placed upon us. We are the beings of this planet, divine nature beings. We are plant-based. We are nature. We are plants. The whole planet has a whole technology, a whole thing where it feeds on the sun, and the sun is meant for the whole planet. We feed on the sun too because we are meant for this planet. My people. That's why if you look at most of us before y'all came, they try to say we were sun worshipers and shit. We didn't worship the sun, but we understood what the sun was. But so yeah, the truth is being exposed. I don't need to do too much. Let all these energies, these cosmic forces, these ancestral forces, let everything work in I's favor. Let everything work for me. Everything is working in I's favor in so many ways. I just need to keep I focused on I and my higher self and healing and staying on the high frequency and, cleansing from all this toxic shit, breaking free from all this witchcraft, from these spells, removing all the energy and influence of any fallen god or any fallen principality or negative being that tries to, that's trying to, attack on a spiritual level. Just focus on getting myself right within this realm and creating my own bubble and crafting my own space and erecting my own energy and my own, you feel me? So word. Peace to everyone who tapped in. Eon tapping out. I share.